Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. It has been a while since I filmed a sit down video. If you don't know me, I'm Ria and I'm the voice behind the UK Uni 73 question series. So every year I like to film a sit down review video of my past year at university, and this year is my third year review. This video has a few sections that are as follows. In section 1, I'll give you an overview of how my general year went. In section 2, I'm going to talk about how my studies were affected by COVID. And in section 3, I'm just going to do a general social, finances and accommodation chat. And then in section 4, I'll give you a looking forward to the future and what next year is going to entail as far as I am aware. So yeah, sit back, grab your teas and let's chat. So we're going to talk about an overview of my year. So in my second year review video, I said that I was going to go to Berlin for my year abroad and that I was going to study at the Humboldt University. Now, half of that happened, but it wasn't in the timeline I expected. And it also wasn't as long as I expected. So knowing me, I was not going to take no as an answer and decided that I wanted to go abroad anyway, to Berlin. Now, I have a German passport, so moving to Berlin is like me moving to another area of the UK. It's familiar territory and it's also home for me. So yeah, I ended up moving in a flat with some friends and I had a great experience there. However, it wasn't quite the full experience you would get of a year abroad in Berlin because everything shut after my first month. So I was there from September until December. Honestly, I think it was the best thing I could have done because I felt like since March the pandemic had thrown like all my plans off balance, and going regardless was me taking power back into my own hands, if that makes sense. Then semester 2 was a really good semester, although most of it was spent in British lockdown. And although it was like no different in the style of teaching as semester 1 was, I just got involved a lot more and just said, this is my reality now, let me make it a fantastic one. And I think I did that. So that's my overview of third year. In general, it's probably one of the best years I've actually had, and it wasn't even a proper year of university. So now I'm going to talk about my studies in COVID and how that went. So semester 1 was atrocious. It was really hard, like adjusting to online studying. So third year is the first year that counts for me at Edinburgh, so that was an added pressure, like just not having tutorials in person. You know, everything's recorded anyway, so you can show up if you want. So I definitely felt I wasn't engaged. My grades definitely reflected that as well, which was kind of tough. And then mentally I was really struggling because obviously I just moved to Berlin and then a lockdown happened like a month later, so it was very tough in that kind of setting as well. So I did apply for extenuating circumstances, and do not be afraid to do so, guys, if you are in any sort of situation, because the university, they would prefer to hear about it as opposed to you struggle in silence. And then semester 2 came and I just decided, look Ria, this is your reality. You're either going to have a repeat of semester 1 because you don't want to do it and like you don't want to put the effort in, or you trick yourself to loving it. And that's kind of what I did. I told myself I'm attending every single tutorial in person, I'm participating, I'm doing all the readings and more readings. Like I did it all. I was probably like top-notch student in semester 2 and my grades reflected that. So it definitely helped. My mental health also improved a lot. So that's kind of how my studies went. with regards to COVID. Now answering the question of, did things get tougher in third year? I don't think there was such a jump. I thought it was going to be bigger than it actually was. I think second year was a jump for me, like first to second. But second to third, I honestly don't think it was unbearable. It gets harder, but your essay lengths generally stay the same. So no, I think like workload wise, it wasn't such a jump. For politics and history, it might be different for other courses. So social life, non-existent is all I can really say about that. There's really not much to say about it. In Berlin, I was meeting up with friends and made new friends. Use Friends Bumble if you are taking a year abroad next year. Would recommend. You meet some great people on there and it's very seamless and easy. Did I meet friends anywhere else? No. Absolutely not. So yeah, because then I came back for semester 2, which was basically in a national lockdown in the UK, so not really much of a social life, but that was okay because I ended up co-founding a jewelry company, focused a lot of my time on my 73 questions series, which you would have seen if you haven't, linked below, and mentally I got in a far better place. So I did end up having a really good time, but it was more of me figuring out my trajectory. Let's talk about finances in this year. So I was good, to be honest, because there were no social events to go to. Like most of my year has been in a lockdown, which means that I've saved most of my student loan. Rent-wise, I paid rent in Berlin and I pay a little bit of rent at home just to help out. And that was a lot less than what I pay in Edinburgh. It was about a third of what I pay, so you can do the maths. So now it's the exciting part, looking forwards to next year. So next year is supposed to be my final year of university and I'm not going. No, it's not that serious. I'm taking a placement year next year. So as I mentioned earlier on, I've kind of started doing a lot of things and projects in this year, like since January until now. I just felt like now would be the perfect time to take a year off. So I contacted the university, got their advice on it, and they recommended me to do it. They said next year is not going to be more than a hybrid, at the start at least, and if you know, it sounds like you know what you want to do in your next year, you have things up and running already, it makes so much sense and we actually encourage it. So yeah, that's what I'm doing next year. I'm so excited, and if you want me to take you along on my entrepreneurship journey, what I'm up to, what I'm creating, what I'm founding, let me know in the comments. But yeah, so that's my year ahead. So I have got one more assessment due in and then your girl is free for a year. That is my third year overview. I hope that I kind of gave you an insight into how it was for me. If you have any questions about my experiences, I always respond to every email I get, so that is in the description below. I'm not sure when I will come and do a sit down video with you guys, but you'll see another 73 questions video on my channel soon. Alright guys, it was so lovely to sit here, drink tea and tell you about the highs and lows of my third year. Bye!